So here we are, so episode 12 of the Bozo Buzz. So let's get this rolling. Hang on. I always get worried when I start this. Like, I have no idea if the camera's like from my neck down. I'm assuming it's my full body. So if it's not, and it's my neck down, I will still post this. Because like it's raw and unedited because I'm not a professional. So we're talking huge big brother thoughts. So hang on a second. Let's get this rolling. Let's see where we're at. Episode 12, I think. Alrighty, guys. We are back with the Bozo Buzz, episode 12. Look how far we've come. You and me, living the dream, making it big in Hollywood. We are still keeping this a 30-minute episode. I liked it. It was quick, in, out, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, we're done. I like this tremendously. So we're gonna continue on with this the whole way through. I liked it. I don't know. I didn't get much feedback about people saying like, oh, it's too short. Oh, it's not long enough. So with that being said, we're golden. Look at this. I don't think that's available in northern states. Apparently this is a South thing. Hard Mountain Dew, 0 sugar, 5% alcohol, no caffeine. I like it. So, guys, YouTube, of course, stands for Baby21. Also, what's the other one? That was a weird noise. Interesting. Heard a weird noise. The boys just went to bed. We had a great day today. Not to get all preachy, but ever since coming here, like to Florida, we found a really good church. Cornerstone Family Church, I think it is. And I do security. Melissa sings in the band. You guys have seen my Instagram stories, my posts. It's a good time. It is a good time. I so think Christians have so complicated the fact of being a Christian that we've made it worse for anyone else who wants to believe. Like, we've done more harm than good. So the church that we're at now, I think we're doing a lot of good. A lot of good things are coming from it. The band's awesome. The security's awesome. The people are awesome. And St. Cloud, right now, St. Cloud, Florida, is the highest, fastest growing city in America. In America. LA is not growing this fast. New York City is not growing this fast. Austin, Texas isn't growing this fast. St. Cloud, Florida, little podunk Florida, little tiny town, which we happen to just magically come to out of nowhere, is now the fastest growing city in America. Wild to me. Wild. Like, what are the chances? What are the chances when we are looking at moving to Florida? We're looking at, where do we go? Tampa, Jacksonville, Pensacola, Miami, Bradenton, Ocala. Like, where are we going? And we just came down to St. Cloud, Florida. And now where we're at is the fastest growing city in America. That's like wild to me. Wild to me. So our church now is growing tremendously. Huge bounds of people coming in every single day. We have 2 services. I think we're doing like 600 people per service. Wild. I do security on the second service, which is like great. And when I say security, like we're all carrying. We're all making sure like we're not gonna have a problem. Our pastor is the mayor of St. Cloud. Small world, but it's worth it. It's a good time. We always gotta be on edge because you don't know, protesters, this and that. People are mad that people are moving so fast to St. Cloud. It's always a huge gamble. It's a huge thing. People are always complaining. It's a problem, but that's why we're there every Sunday, taking care of business. So it's a good time. I just find it funny that like of all the places in Florida we moved to the city that is the fastest growing. Like, what are the chances? What are the chances? So we're gonna talk Big Brother the majority of the episode for sure. Because I want to go over like Daniel's speech not his speech. So I am behind one episode. So so this is what happened. One of my boys from work, his car broke down, and I will watch a show when I get home from work, and I'll catch up on the episodes of Big Brother or whatever related. So I had to give him a ride home. And he caught me off guard last minute, Arnaldo. He's like, Sam, can you give me a ride home? Because he lives in St. Cloud. I'm like, sure, buddy. Got you, fam. Bring him home. Did not watch the last show, so I'm behind. So I did not see Daniel's eviction, but I do know Daniel was evicted. And I saw his speech with Julie. So we're going to hit that. Let's talk about his speech. We'll talk about two little things to get the show started. Nah, you know what? Screw that. We'll start with two little fun facts. And then we'll go to Daniel's little interview with Julie Chen. So really quick, let me put my notes up here. Where are we at? Okay. So, do you ever see those big jack guys walk around in Walmart? So like if someone like inflated their muscles with helium, and they walk around, and you always think to yourself like, are they on steroids? They have to be on steroids. This is totally unrelated, but this is a fun fact. And you're like, wow, why are they so big? They gotta be on steroids. And the wife's like, wow, he looks pretty hot. Do you think he works out every day? And you're like, honey, he's on steroids, guaranteed. Bam. Let me tell you how to find out if they're on steroids. All you have to do, and this is mind-blowing reasoning here, all you have to do is ask them. That's all you gotta do. You see a big jack guy, biceps the size of basketballs, walk up to him and say, hey, are you on steroids? And when you say that, their response will determine if they're on steroids. Because somebody who's on steroids will lose their mind. You say, hey, are you on steroids? No! What do you mean I'm on steroids? This is natural. I work out 7. No! I'm flipping picnic tables. Steroids. If someone's jacked and you're like, hey, are you on steroids? No, bro. So I actually turned out, I eat broccoli every day. No ice cream, no pizza. This is what I do every... Good night, boo-boo. Oh, he's talking to me. Good night, Bubby. If they're not, they'll be like, oh, this is my diet plan. So 5 days a week, I'm on a South Beach diet or the Atkins diet, and I've been really holding myself. And thanks for noticing. Yeah, I am looking pretty good in shape. Thank you so much. But if you ask a person and they're on steroids, they lose their mind because you ask them, they're on steroids. Done. And I've done it before. I was in a movie theater with Joe Murtis one time, and we're sitting there. It was an intro for the Wolverine. When it was a Wolverine 2, Wolverine 3, I don't even know. Great movie. Never saw it, but I saw the intro. And I'm sitting there, me and Joe, this guy, the Wolverine, in the commercial, came busting through this glass. Comes walking in, and I hit Joe, and I was like, that's not steroids. Like joking around, because like the veins were popping, the shoulders were round, he had a unibrow, big key signs for steroids. And he busted through the glass, and Joe was like, yeah, true. And a guy stood up in front of me, jacked out of his mind, stood up, turned around, he's like, what'd you say? And I'm sitting there with Joe, and I'm like, I was talking about the guy. I said he's not on steroids. He's like, the guy you're talking about? And I said, yeah. He's like, that's what I thought. And he sat down and he hit his big jack butt. He's like, he said he was talking about the guy on TV. Steroids. Like, you're not getting away with anything. No person is born with the mechanisms to work out and get huge veins, round shoulders, unibrow sticking out like the Neanderthal man. Nobody's born like that. That is a total steroid trend trait. That's what that is. And I have no problem calling it out. You're a pussy. And you had to go work out. You didn't get jacked fast enough, so they had to rely on the little shot in your little ass cheek to help you out. Next thing you know, start injecting it between your toes. Then switch it to heroin, and now you're an addict and you're homeless. You go, bro. Anything for the physical pride. Nailing this life. That's what I think about that. So anyways, a quick story. So you know how I'm a troll. I troll everybody. I'm constantly going nuts on Facebook. And I really felt bad about this one. So somebody posted a picture. It was the most blurry BlackBerry Storm picture you could ever imagine. The LG Shine must have took a picture back in 2006. And it was on Facebook. And it was like, help guys, my friend's dog has been stolen. We can't find him. Blah, blah, blah. So I commented on it and I'm like, you can't even see the picture. Like, how are we supposed to tell who stole your dog? And they were like, they came in, they're like, please help us. We don't know. Anything will help. Any information you've heard. So I'm just like screwing around. And I was like, you can't see anything in the picture. So this post does nothing. Well, Melissa's best friend, Amanda, is talking to Melissa on Marco Polo, which is like the little app, the little video app. And she wasn't trashing me, but she ended up saying, she was like, yeah, Sam, and I'm commenting on my friend's status. We're trying to find her puppy. And Sam's like trolling the one person. So Melissa comes to me. She's like, Sam, are you on so-and-so's post, like trolling them about the dog? I was like, yeah, it was a blurry picture. No one could find the stupid dog. Like, there's no way. It was dumb. It was a dumb post. And Melissa's like, well, that's Amanda's friend. And they're really heartbroken. The little kids are crying. They can't sleep at night. Can you delete it? I was like, oh, well, okay. Like, all right. Sorry. This is a funny story. I don't know. I did delete it. And I was like, all right. Like, and I'm texting her friend. And I was like, hey, sorry about the post. But in reality, there's nothing to go off of. You can't just post this and be like, help us. There's nothing there. Anyways, we're cool. So that was a funny quick story that I was trolling somebody who I didn't even know that I actually knew. And didn't go so well. So, all right. So here we go. We're going into Daniel's eviction. So I watched the end cap of Daniel with Julie. So here we go. Problematic Sam strikes again. I've already established that I do like Taylor. I think Taylor's good. Has she done anything game-wise? No. Now, she could be getting a bad edit. That is all thing. I mean, I made a final 2 with Nick, and nobody ever even knew about it. Made a final 2 with David. No one ever even knew about it. Final 2 with Bella. No one ever even knew about it because it all comes down to edits for the Big Brother show. So there's a lot we don't see. But going off of that, Taylor right now has not done anything game-wise. She's eating potato chips. It was pretty good. I don't blame her. That's a lot of chips, though. There's a car beeping the horn. Babes? Babes? There's a car beeping the horn outside, like a car alarm. I gotta text Melissa. Oh, it turned off. All right. I don't know if you heard that or not, but we just had a fiasco today with the car alarm. So Taylor's not done anything game-wise. Fine. However, she is well loved by America, only because she was being bullied in the first couple shows. I get it. That's fine. Makes people like you. That's the whole point of AFP. You make people like you, you win AFP. Point blank done. That's why you take, like, the AFP does not run on racism and bullying. The AFP runs on whoever you like. So you take Jess, all of Jess, AFP, no, for my season. You take Kemi, AFP, no. Who cares? What, she fought us all and said she was bullied? No, nothing. You take sweet little innocent Nicole, AFP. So right now, Taylor is in that little spot where she's well loved. And I don't blame it. I love Taylor. After seeing how she was treated in the house leading up to this, I love Taylor. I hope she does win AFP. And what's funny is because I've tweeted stuff about this, And people have blocked me, roasted me. The one girl, Chanel from Survivor, who I loved, tried to roast me on it too, because I said people aren't used to Big Brother, pretty much, and they'll cry anything to be a victim. And it's facts. It's facts. And people lost their minds. But still, I still think Taylor should win AFB because she is the most liked person on Big Brother. So, no harm, no foul. Love Taylor. I think she should win. However, CBS is so scared of Taylor being bullied for, well, I won't say whatever reason, like just people know, that they are going out of their way to make her the victim, which now you're arming yourself to be more than what it is. Like, you could just be bullied in a season and win AFP, and everyone's like, great, this is great, I agree with this. So, but now CBS is like overreaching and grabbing like, Daniel, why'd you say those things against Taylor? Why don't you ask us why they say things against Jasmine? Why do you say things against Kyle? Why do you say things against Monty? Why is it only a pinpoint on Taylor? So you have two guns and you're putting the ammunition aside to make something more out of than what it is. And that's the problem I have. But you dumb it down. I do think Taylor should win AFP. Definitely, America loves her. I love her. I think it's great. She should. Great. I have a feeling she will not like me, or she won't give two craps about Sam Smith based on people from my season that will automatically reach out to her and put little notes in her ears, which will disclose anyone from my season. Guaranteed. I've seen it happen, and it will happen. And I know this is how the cookie crumbles. I've been friends with people and they've also cut me off. And I'm like, that's weird. And when I finally see them in person, like, what ended up happening? They're like, oh, so-and-so talked to me and they said you did this and this and this and this. And I'm not giving names, but you know exactly who the hell I'm talking about. And they'd be like, oh, well, so-and-so told me that you said that. Like, wow. The impact these people have over bullshit is wild to me. But whatever, I'm not a celebrity. I have nothing to offer. Nothing to offer at all except my opinion. So who am I? Go ahead, get mad at me. You getting mad at me makes me something that I'm not. So great, go ahead. At least I'm something. At least people are talking about it. So when Julie Chen was interviewing Daniel and she immediately went into, you said this about Taylor. It was good. It was good. Because what was the first question she asked? She said something, and I was like, well, why do you say this? Oh, you said she was lying to you. Do you feel bad about that? Blah, blah, calling her out. And he said, yes, he did, blah, blah. But he spitted. He spit facts. Spit facts. When he's like, you don't know what's going on in the house. You're in a pressure cooker. You don't know both sides. And it's true. That is normal life. You with your coworkers right now are sitting in an office building or wherever you're at, and if you hate so-and-so, I hate Joe. He constantly tries to give me a shoulder rub, and you can't touch me. Great. That's how life is. You put a camera on that, and now you're like, why does Joe think he could touch me? I do not like that. And everyone's like, why are you bullying Joe? Because we see both sides. This is how Big Brother works. You see both sides. In the show, you don't. And I don't know how many times I can say this. It is okay not to like somebody. It is okay. You can hate people all you want. You could dislike people all you want. That is okay. I don't know why 2022 Cali liberal world is like, you can't say that. You are bullying that person. It's wild to me. It's wild to me that we are in this day and this day and age where you cannot not like somebody. Where'd that come from? Where did that come from? Like, I don't like tons of people. Like, tons of people. I don't like some people in the church. I don't like some of Melissa's friends. I don't like some of my own friends. But I'm still friends with them because that's what makes you friendly. And yet, if they were to hear me saying stuff on camera, they would totally disown me. But I'm still friends with them. However, you show that footage, They're not gonna like me. And that's what Big Brother is. And you idiots can't get this through your stupid ass heads. Oh, I can't believe they said that. You saw both sides. Anyways, so Julie Chen's interviewing Daniel, and he's going on and on and on, and he could tell, you could see it in his eyes. This is a Jack from season 21 situation that Julie keeps poking at the Taylor things, to the point when she's done the Taylor talk, she goes, now, if there was anything you could do over again, what would you do looking back? A plain question. And he immediately thought she was talking about Taylor. And he's like, well, I would have definitely got both sides from Taylor before I accused, like he went, because he picked up that she was mentioning Taylor at the beginning, and he thought she was still talking about Taylor. And she wasn't. And you could tell he was worried. I got no ill feelings towards Daniel. I think he's good. I think he's all right. You call people out. That's what Big Brother is. That's what makes Big Brother. And the fans are ruining Big Brother because they're not allowing that to happen. Like, you can't have a liberal pansy Big Brother where everyone gets along. The show won't work. If you want to talk about everyone getting along besides a couple people, season 21, my season. The majority got along except for a couple people. But yeah, you guys didn't like that either. So can you imagine a Big Brother show for 2 seconds? Imagine a Big Brother show where everybody gets along. What are you going to do? Cry and nominate people for eviction? I'm so sorry. I love you. You have to be evicted. I'm so sorry. Like, what is Big Brother turning into? Big Brother is going to come to an end. And that's what's going to happen to Survivor. And I've called it out a million times. This pansy day and age is not going to work with Big Brother. And nobody sees it. And that's why on Survivor, Chanel, whatever her name is, I was following her. I even messaged her like, love you on Survivor, amazing, this and that. And when the one production member on the BB spoiler page was like, they were hating to see how Taylor was being bullied, that they had to walk away from the camera. So sad. Did you guys see that tweet? And I commented on it. I retweeted it. And I said, this is Big Brother, grow up. And everyone lost their minds. The funniest comment on that was the one person that was like, where were you January 6th? That's pretty awesome. It's kind of funny. Where was I January 6th? One will never know. But the one person that got more likes than the actual post did. And this Chanel girl, who I loved from day one, comments on it. The guy painting his clown things out of nowhere. Survivor. I think she has 7,000 followers on Twitter, and she's gonna come after me. Who are you again? Relax. You're at a 9. You gotta come down to a 3 where you belong. And like, just like that, I was a huge fan of them, love them, down the tubes. Why? Because they're jumping on the majority train. It's all about majority. Guys, I don't know who needs to say this. You do not need to go with the majority. And if anyone's speaking about this, I should know this from Big Brother, because I went with the majority for the longest time. You do not need to go with the majority. Just because 15 people tell you you should hate this strawberry flavored lollipop doesn't mean you hate it. Make your own decisions. Think for yourself. Why is this 2022 is becoming wild? You cannot think for yourself because the internet will tell you. The internet. A stupid screensaver on your phone is going to tell you how to feel, and you follow along like a little robot. That I do not like Sam Smith. This is wild to me. And no matter what's being said, no matter what's being talked about, nothing gets done. Nothing gets done at all. Everyone just keeps rolling right along. Yep, I do not like Sam. Bad man. He says bad things. Oh, my eyebrows are sweating. Oh. Anyways, so Daniel was worried about it, and he went through his interview. I think he took his interview with grace. I think he was a good guy. I'm actually probably gonna message him. I should message him now. Nah. Would be cool though. But I have 24 minutes. Kind of tempted to. Maybe next one. We'll see what happens. But whenever I message somebody, and I could always tell, you could read between the lines, I'm not an idiot, if they were already reached before I messaged them. So Paloma, messaged her, had a good conversation with her. She's doing okay, and she got a lot of bad feedback. She did have a little problem with her mental status. I will give it that. That was very, very true, and I feel bad for her in that regard. But I could tell who's talked to who to be like, I don't like you, Sam. And it's wild to me because I've been called obsessed numerous times, but I see multiple people who already have feedback against me from somebody who was obsessed with me. And it's wild. But if I were to call it out, they would say, Sam, you're so obsessed. Am I? Do I message people and try to get them to hate other people before talking to them myself? No. Never have done it. Never will. That's not who I am. But I know people who do because I could tell, and I've heard firsthand accounts. I've had people message me and be like, hey, so-and-so reached out after like a couple messages back and forth, and they said this and this and this and this is about you. I don't believe it. I don't understand it. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. It's true. And I've had name drops, but I can't talk about it because I'll be obsessed with this person, quote unquote. And I just leave it go. I let it ride out. And it's funny it's come to this because like even in my season in the Big Brother house, I talked to these certain people who have told me point blank, and there's live feeds of this. This is no secret. I've had people tell me like, yeah, I have 10 different Twitter accounts. I troll everybody. I don't care. I'm the biggest troll. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a troll too. I use my own accounts because I have no shame, got balls. They're like, I use my own accounts. They're like, oh, no, I'll do this, and I'll get people to look a certain way, and I'll push a tweet this way with all my own account of followers. And I can't talk about it because I will be obsessed. That is wild to me. Wild to me. And it's a pill I have to swallow. And it is what it is. Even now, people will say, look at Sam, so obsessed. I'm not obsessed. I'm telling you what the facts are. Because when I say something, I know what's being said behind my back from people that tell me. So you can't call me obsessed. I get messages whether I like it or not. Messages flow in. They tell me what's going on. It's not like I'm going out of my way to research stuff. It comes to me. So I feel bad for Daniel in that regard. I think as a super fan, and that's what Julie Chen said, like, shouldn't you have known this? Like what you're saying, live feeds. He never watched live feeds, just like me. I never watch live feeds. I got better things to do. And he pretty much said the same thing. Like, it is what it is. Looking back, and he played the part. I do not blame him. I would have done the same thing when he's like, yeah, I got a lot of apologies to make. I'll be going back and finding people. I said the same thing. When you were on the candid LA Hollywood camera, you in that moment is like, oh, damn, am I being canceled? Is McDonald's not going to use me for the I'm Loving It commercial? How do I make this right? Like, you start freaking out because in your head, you start thinking about all the sponsors you could possibly have and the life after Big Brother. So when you realize you're being criticized and canceled at that moment, you start panicking. You start being like, oh, well, no, I'll do anything. No, it's not like that. Let me fix this right now. No, you don't understand. Me. You start panicking. Not that I'm saying Daniel panicked, but I'm saying that he did get worried. You could see it in his eyes. You know something was up. I felt bad for him. That sucks. So Julie asked him, and Julie, sure. America wants to know questions, and Julie delivers. Nothing against Julie Chen. That she will ask the problematic questions, and she did. Kat Dunn has a good podcast from my season, Catherine. Good podcast. She asked Nicole about wiping Jasmine's butt. Oh, jeez. Oh, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That was funny. And then when she was interviewing Daniel, she said something about Taylor, and he tried like rebuttaling. She was like, no, you said this. Like, her podcasts are the best, and she's not paying me for this, but go listen to her podcast. I don't know what it is. Wait, no, I do. Conspiring Bitches podcast. Go listen to her podcast. It's pretty pimpin'. You might leave me to go listen to her, and I don't blame you at all. Her podcasts are freaking awesome. So, with that being said, guys, that's 30 minutes. We're out. We literally talked about one topic of Big Brother, but it's true. I needed to get that out for a while because it's been bothering me. I get trampled all over. I need to say something. So that's what we're coming down to. So, thanks for tuning in. Let's come back and make, episode 13 of Bozo Buzz. So thanks for being here, guys. I'll see you next week. It's uploading. Sometimes after I get done a podcast, I don't know. I just told Melissa this because Melissa was like, hey, can't you skip a podcast? And I said, yeah, I can, but like, I always feel myself like, I don't know, something in my life. I was not called to be a truck driver my entire life. Like, that's not my calling. And I can't change it. I'm trying to. And the only thing I will leave truck driving for, which I feel like I'm really decent at, like 11 years now driving truck. Like, I know a lot of the way the stuff goes. I just know a lot of the transportation community logistically wise. Like, I know that. The only reason why I'd be able to leave it is if I were to become a police officer, and it's always in the back of my mind. Like, I'm constantly looking up Florida State Troopers, or I was just talking to my neighbor who's an Orlando cop. He got me a guy's number to be a recruiter. But no cop recruiting pays the first year, and I can't afford that. And it blows. It frickin' blows. Like, I wish like a rich person would come to me and be like, Sam, you want to be a cop? Here, I'll pay you 80 grand your first year. You could train to be a cop. Thank you. And I take it from there. But it's not even like a real thing. When I was 21, I should have gone to be a cop at that moment, and I didn't, and I drug my feet. And now, in this point of my life, I want to be a cop so bad because I feel like I could be a difference. I won't be the people that people hate, the cops, the cops that people hate. I feel like I could be that like different saving grace to be like, guys, I'm not like everybody else. We're all in this together. We're serving the community. I feel like I could do that. And I feel like I can't because I cannot afford it in Florida. So do I just give up? Do I just give up on my dream? Like, let it go? It's wild to me. I feel like that's my life's calling. And I can't do nothing about it because I can't afford it. I don't know. So, that's my heart. This was a good, heart, healthy podcast. We barely got through anything, but that's exactly where I stand. So, thanks for being here. And we'll come back next weekend. Episode 13. I'm in my boxers, so when I get up to pause this, thanks for watching. This is a free show. Donate to my OnlyFans. I'm kidding. But guys, thank you. So I'll see you next week. Let's go. Let's get it. I'm with it.